Hey everybody, welcome back to another review of Married at First Sight, Season 12. This is Episode 7. Sorry about 5 and 6, just beyond my control. It's the big eye himself, your boy Big James. We'll be reviewing this one. I think the title of it is How Do You Know If You're in Love? I don't know why he titled it that. This episode was long and drawn out, man. I don't know why these are 2 hours. They could very easily be 1 hour, but this is what they're doing. I'm gonna do it a couple at a time, so not to get jumbled up, but we will get to everybody. All right, we're gonna start off with Virginia and Eric. I'm sorry about my mouth. I was eating some candy. I don't know why I was eating candy. Let's get my mouth all flavorful and juicy. Virginia and Eric. I don't get the Virginia and Eric thing. They seem like they're a couple that would work, but they also could be a couple that don't work. They start out, she's saying that, she wants some alone time, which was odd to me because he's a pilot. He's gone 15 days out of the month. So, and then she was like, oh, I need more time? Like, you don't need, he's gone half a month. You can't get your alone time when you're alone, when he's not even there. And I think Eric got the same thing. Like, well, I hope that alone days you want on the days that I'm gone, not the days that I'm here. And then you're like, well, I need alone time too. It's like, well, then, just, goddamn, how much you want to be single? Which was a thing that kept coming up for Eric. But it's because it seems like Virginia doesn't want to be married. She has a thing that I'm married, yeah, but I'm going to just keep doing what I've been doing. I'm going to keep living a single life even though I'm married. And Eric is like, no, that's not how this works. And they all they go to their house that the show got them together. And it's a nice apartments. They're like pretty cool. But they have to move their stuff in. So I think starting out when they move their stuff in, they go to Virginia's house first. And she has a nice house. She has a very lived-in house. It's very decorated, it has feeling, personality, it's stuff on the walls. She got letters, frat pictures, college stuff. It's very decorated. She put a lot of time and attention into where she lives. And I think a lot of women do that too. They really want to face a place to feel like home. And she has how many dogs? She has 2 dogs and 2 cats. Now, and Eric says, hey, I'm allergic to cats. And she's like, well, you're going to have to just take a pill for that. Which I think is fucked up because he was like, I just got to take an allergy medicine all the time instead of you just not having cats. And she's basically like, yeah. Because she's like, the cats come before you. I'm not getting rid of the cats. And then he said something. He said that he's been to friends' houses before and they had cats. And he didn't know they had cats until they said it. She said, well, then you're not allergic then. It's a mind thing. You're not really allergic because you weren't sneezing and having fits. He was like, yeah, I am. Which she doesn't, I don't know if she's just being funny or childish. Not all allergies are severe. It could be mild. He could just be like real itchy, or his throat itches, or he's just feeling dizzy. He doesn't have to be fucking dying because he has an allergy. He could be a mild allergy or a low allergy, but he's still allergic. She doesn't give a fuck. She really don't. And I think that's going to be a problem is that she really doesn't care about him. She doesn't really think about him at all. That comes up later too. And then they go to his house. And his house is the complete opposite. It's a bachelor pad. There is nothing on the walls. He has no pictures at all. He got that one black leather couch. He got some kind of aquarium with lights and stuff. His house is very minimalist. It's like, it's a dude's house. It's a bachelor pad. I think that's what she said too. It's like a bachelor pad. And she's like, well, you gotta make room for the cats and all this and stuff. And he was like, put them in the closet. I don't think he doesn't mind the dogs, but I think the cats really bother him. Because he keeps saying, I'm allergic to cats. And she's like, well, we'll get over that. No, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. And then he says, his ultimate goal is to like buy a house. Because she's like, well, we're going to have to sell this to get some of this cash rent. I don't know what's going on with Virginia. She's like really doesn't care. Like this is all just a big joke, a big game to her. And I don't think that's how Eric feels about it. because he's willing to make sacrifices. He's willing to change and to adjust. He wants to give her space. He wants to do everything to make her comfortable. And she is like, I'm going to do what I want to do. And I'm not even going to think about you, how you feel, or anything. That's not how that should work. Pastor Cal comes over and they meet him. And he asks, have you consummated relationship? They're like, yeah, they've had sex. And he asked, were there any problems? And Eric said, he feels the age difference. The numbers, he said the numbers isn't a big deal. It's the mindset, the mentality of, because of her age, where she is in life, and because of his age, where he is in life. They're in two different places. She is drinking, partying, going out every night, and he is responsible. He's got bills. He's thinking of other stuff. He's not doing that, and she doesn't care. It's not even. It's to her. What he's saying is a concern to him isn't even a concern to her. She doesn't care. She's like, I'm just gonna do what I want to do, and you're just gonna deal with it. And that's not how a marriage should work. And that's what he's saying. Like, that's not how it's supposed to go. And even the things that he does, she was like, oh, he trying to be my parent. He was like, no. She said he trying to be her parent because she went out and he called her like, hey, are you coming back? Like, where'd you go? You didn't say anything. You didn't talk to me. You were just not here. And she was like, what, you're my parents? You got to check up on me? Like, no, I'm concerned. I worry. I'm your husband. I should know where my wife is and what she's doing. And has she made it to the place she was going? Because she was going somewhere. He's like, hey, have you made it there yet? And she's like, what are you like? She couldn't figure out why her husband would want to know, did she arrive at her destination safely? Like, because he cares. That's why he would ask. You do that when you're dating, not even when you're married. When you're dating somebody, you call it, hey, I made it. I got here okay. It was weird. It took a long time. So you don't be worried about me. That I met. She couldn't understand why he was worried. She was like, for what? She used to being people that don't give a fuck about each other. That she says to her friends. And he said it's just different lifestyle. Like, she wants to be married, but she doesn't really want to be married. Because she doesn't really even have a concept of what that is. And she said something that was so ridiculous that I couldn't believe it. She said that sometimes she would just stay over to her guy friends' houses and just sleep on their couches, and he needs to be okay with that. And he was like, no, I'm not okay. And Pastor Cal was like, I'm married. My wife, a lot of years, wouldn't be okay with that at all. There's no way a guy would just not care or wouldn't have a problem with you sleeping over to another guy's house. And I laid on the couch. How the fuck do I know that? And it's not that I don't trust you. I don't trust him. That was the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. It was so outright stupid. Because that shit wouldn't go both ways. He can just go sleep on some girl's couch while she's at home. She'd throw a fucking fit. So I don't understand her. I get what Eric is saying. Everything Eric is saying makes sense. Because he said, I've been married before. I know how it goes. I know about compromise. I know about making deals. And I know it seems like he knows a lot about what he's doing. He's trying to make it work. She doesn't care. And I think that's all I'm getting from her is that she feels like if you show any concern or worry about her at all, she feels like you're trying to raise her or be her parent or something. It's like, no. She doesn't want him to care about her. And when he shows or expresses that he does care, she gets offended like he's doing something wrong. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to Eric. It doesn't make sense to Pastor Cal. So that's why I don't feel like this relationship can go far. It's going to take a lot of growing on her part. Even back to the whole, she needs alone time. He's gone 15 days out of the month, flying planes. And you need more time alone than that? At what point, you just don't like this motherfucker? God, at what point is that just the case? I really just don't want to be with anybody. I'm getting married for like tax benefits or some shit like that. That's what it coming down to. That's what it looking like. So they can make it. They'll probably be a good couple if they do. I don't know. Moving on. Brianna and Vincent. I like them. I like them a lot. They can go actually pretty far because they get along together. Brianna starts it out worried about cleaning because she likes to clean. I guess during the honeymoon she was cleaning up behind him a lot. She says, and she was just that was a concern that he doesn't clean or it's her cleaning everything. Like she was going behind him, picking up stuff, rearranging stuff, doing stuff. She was like that might be a bother for him, but I don't think he even noticed. Or if he did notice, he didn't even have he didn't have a problem with it. He didn't care. They started out with Pastor Cal first, and Pastor Cal asked them, are there any problem? What's going on? And he gets the same spiel from them that they're doing good. So and Pastor Cal is like, well, have you talked about everything? They've been doing a lot of talking. They've talked about everything, and they pretty much have talked about everything: finances, family. They've consummated. It's like they've like that whole checklist of what have you guys done. They've all done it. She knows that he's trying to start his own business. He's doing this. He's trying to be independent, an entrepreneur, and she's like, I'm ready to support. I'm ready to do this. They talked about kids. He was like, yeah, not right now. Once we get our life together, we get our finances straight, we get our living situation straight, then we'll have kids. They both agree to this. It's like, yeah, we've talked about it. And what issues? And the issue that came up from Vincent was, respect and communication. Because I guess he said he doesn't like to feel disrespected. So something is happening that we're not seeing, where he feels like Brianna is being disrespected, is being disrespectful to him. I don't know why I said that so badly, but it comes up. He said that's the thing that really matters to him, and a lot of the things she say, and I guess the way she says it, not so much what it is, but the way she says it, bothers him. We saw later on in the episode. And she says herself, like, yeah, I can be rude. Because she talks very assertive, very matter of factly. And she knows how that can come across. But she says, I'm not doing anything to hurt him because I don't want to do that. And she wants him to say, hey, this is, he's messing with me right now. So, and I think Vincent said that they communicate differently because the way he talks is very laid back. It's very, his thoughts are very well thought out and considerate, and hers is like very quick. She's snappy. She doesn't really take your feelings into consideration. She just says what she wants to say, and then she'll apologize for it later once she realizes what she said. So it's just a different way of communicating, and they have to kind of they gotta figure that out, so that nobody's feeling gets hurt. Then they're moving on. They go to her house, and her house is nice. It's very nice. And Vincent picks up on the fact that her TV is leaning. Like her TV is just leaning off the counter. And he was like, what's up with that? And she's like, I don't know. She said she tried straightening it up, but it just leans. And it's like, how is it not falling over? It's just leaning so much. And it's nothing out of the ordinary. It's a nice house. Like, it's very decorated, very cozy. She has a closet full of clothes and shoes. Like, he's teasing her about that, but he's not really teasing her. He's just bringing it up, like he's just kind of joking with her, but he's real laid back, real smooth. Like nothing he says is real hurtful or put down here, nothing like that. He's just really being fun. They go to his house, and it's surprisingly it's very clean. She was shocked. She thought, oh, he's probably messy or a junkie or something like that, but it was clean. It was clean as a whistle. And he was like, yeah, he does clean, but he doesn't just do it like for her. It has to happen right now. And I guess he says, I get to it like at the end of the day or whatever. I don't clean. He doesn't clean as he goes. He cleans up later, and she cleans as she goes. And he takes champagne so they can take it back to their shared apartment. She called him Champagne Vin. That was cute. I think he liked it too. Later on, when they get to the apartment, he gets the champagne out of his bag and the glasses, and he pops it open cork, and it spills everywhere. It's all over the floor, and it spills on him and stuff like that. And she's laughing. They're both laughing, everything like that. But it gets kind of out of pocket a little bit because she starts like messing with him. He's like cleaning up, and she's like, "Oh yeah," like she keeps mentioning like, "Oh, this is a Vinny thing to do," or "You're acting like a Vinny." Champagne Vinny getting champagne on the floor. I'm glad it wasn't that big. You know how you be doing, and it was cute at first, but then after a while, she kept like after it was cleaned up, after he had poured it, they were drinking the champagne. There was still something left in the bottle. She kept going at him, going at him, going at him, and it was bothering him because okay, yeah, I did that. You got me. Oh yeah, I spilled champagne. You don't got to keep bringing that shit up. You ain't got to keep trying to just go harder and harder at me. And then I think the whole "you're acting like a Vinny," and he was like, "What the fuck is that?" "Oh, that's so Vincent." Because he had spilled on church. She's like, "Oh yeah, that's so Vincent," and he was like, "Fuck is that?" You know, he was in his feelings, and he told her like, "What does that mean? Like, is Vincent like I'm acting like a Vinny? Am I acting like an idiot? Am I acting like a clown? Am I acting stupid? What does that mean when you say that?" And she was like, "No, that's not what it means." He was like, "Well, what does it mean?" She's like, "You're just acting like. And he was like, "No, I don't know." But he was like, "It's cool. It's fine. I'm going to leave it alone." Because he was upset about it, but he didn't really but he knew it was something small, is what I feel. I feel he knew it was something small that just got to him. So he was like, "I'm going to just let it go. Because I'm in my feeling, I'm being childish right now. And the more I think about it, the more I focus on it, the worse it's going to get." But I don't even think that it was that one incident. And the way he responded, and from his conversation with Pastor Cal earlier, I think it's been happening a lot. And that was something that just really pushed it over the edge. But we're not seeing it because of editing. We're not seeing all the things that's happening. But he kept his cool. And I think at the end, he decided, I'm finna just go home. So he grabbed some clothes and stuff like that. He just went back to his house. Just keep from blowing up. Because it bothered him, but I think he knew it wasn't trivial. He knew it was trivial, but he was like, I can explode over this small ass thing. And she really couldn't understand. She couldn't explain what being a Vinny was. So he felt like, I'm being stupid. You think of me like I'm an idiot or something like that because I spilled some champagne's wasted. I liked them. I think they can go far, but that's probably going to be an issue. Next, we got Chris Page. These two motherfuckers. Chris never came back from Vegas, from the honeymoon. No, he went to Chicago and let Paige come by herself. He wanted to go to Chicago to get his head straight, get his thoughts together. And it was just, what? And left Paige there by herself. And I'm like, Paige is just being ridiculous and silly at this point. Because he's going beyond respectful to just like, he don't care. Like it's like he got a vendetta against her ass. He shows up later to talk to Paige. He doesn't want the conversation to be filmed. And he doesn't want to take that mics off. He wants to talk to her. He wants to talk to her in private without the cameras and the mics. And later on, Paige tells the producers that what he wanted to talk about was that he wants a divorce. He wants to get back with his ex, and he wants to not be with Paige no more. He doesn't want to do anything with her no more. He wants to go back to his ex and be a family with her. And Paige goes the fuck off, which she should have did the wedding night. She should have went the fuck off. She's like, fuck him, fuck that bitch, fuck both of the motherfuckers, fuck all y'all, put me with that motherfucker. Fuck you fucking bitches. And she had every right to be pissed. She said, all this shit he done drug me through. All of this shit I done had to go through with him. And this motherfucker gonna do this shit to me? Yeah. She deserved to go off. It was long overdue. Pastor Cal comes And it's just Paige. Is Chris coming? They don't know. Nobody knows if Chris coming. And Paige tell Pastor Cal everything. She said, and it shocked me. She says on the wedding day, she wasn't feeling Chris. She knew he wasn't. She knew he was not attracted to her. She knew he wasn't feeling her. She like, he don't even like me. She could tell from then. And she still went along with it. She said, so we slept together. And Pastor Cal was like, why? If you could feel it, she was like, well, she felt it was her obligation, her duty as his wife to have sex with him. So Pastor Cal said, you consented. She was like, I consented. Why would you have sex if you knew he didn't like you and you did it anyway? Then you did it again the next morning. And then you did it again pretty much every day after. No protection. He asked protection, no protection. Raw dog. Why? Oh, because his parents really wanted a honeymoon baby. Fuck that. What? Oh my God. Paige, what the fuck? Fuck a honeymoon baby and fuck Chris. It was her duty. And then his ass shows up. And Pascal's like, what the fuck? And Chris was like, it was just, he wanted to get back with his ex to raise a family together. He wasn't attracted to her. Just a bunch of bullshit. Just BS, man. Everything he was saying was so, I tuned it out because it was so much nonsense. That whole conversation between Paige and Pastor Cal, between Chris, it was just so much. It was her being naive and Chris being full of shit, man. It was. And then Pastor Cal was like, if you wasn't attracted to her, if you didn't like her, man, why would you sleep with her? And Chris started fucking laughing. Because the thing is, he don't care. He was like, I fucked, I smashed. I ain't gotta like somebody to sleep with him. No. And that had to hurt Paige's feelings. It had to. He was like, well, I just don't want to talk about it. I don't want to be disrespectful. Yeah. Because I'm just fucking. She was a piece of ass. That's all she's ever been. She was never, because he said it. All she was for was sex. That was it. He didn't like her. He didn't want to like her. He wasn't trying to like her. But he wanted that ass, though. And Paige was like, I can't figure it out. I can't understand. You can understand. You knew what he was doing. And you knew what was up. When he's sitting here saying what was up, you know what's up. Ain't nobody buying it. Ain't nobody believing that. And Pastor Cal has enough, he leaves. And he gonna whisper in her ear, I'm scared to fall in love with you. And she's like, oh, don't tell me that. I'm like, I would have punched that motherfucker in the face. Fuck him. And then she has to go downstairs with him to get his shit out of her car so he can take his shit back with him. And Pastor Cal asked her, before that, do you want a divorce? She don't know. Fuck out of here, Paige. Come on now. He looking you in your face. He don't like you. He ain't attracted to you. You was just for sex, and he wanted a divorce. He want to get back with his ex. And you're like, well, God put us together. This is God's plan. Oh my God, woman. And then she's like, well, I'm gonna leave. And then because they were staring at each other in the goddamn parking garage. And she was like, well, I'll leave first. And he like, okay. So she walks away. He gets in his car. She turns around. Feel like is he gonna come to me? He got in his car and drove the fuck off. He ain't give a fuck about her. She's silly. I'm done with this shit. I hope they done. I hope it's over with. Because they've been married, I think, for 10 days. Get you to know him. This shit never even happened. And she's pissed because she had sex with him. I'm like, yeah, but be thankful that it's over. Done with them. Go to Claire and Ryan. Oh my God. Chris Patty got me hot. Claire and Ryan, they're arguing about bedtime. I guess Ryan, he goes to bed early, he wakes up early. And Claire was like, nah. She said she go to bed like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't know what the fuck she's doing at 1 or 2 in the morning. She's just up to be up. But she says she gets up at 12. She's a stewardess, isn't it? How the fuck she doing that? What? They leave and go. The next day they go to his house because they got to move out of their house into their shared apartment. And his house looks nice too. It's not very decorated. It's all clean and stuff like that. But she says, his house looks nice, but once you open a drawer or open a cabinet, it is all fucked up. And she said that's kind of like, I guess that's kind of like him. He looks very nice on the outside, but once you go inside, it was just shitty. Like everything he likes, you could tell he likes to, what they say, straighten up and not clean up. When you walk in, it looks good, but as soon as you move something out of the way, it's all fucked up. He had cabinet falling out with none of his clothes folded up, nothing. Everything was washed, but he doesn't like fold it. He just kind of throws it all. He just in the drawer. He just puts everything up. He doesn't iron anything. He doesn't like. It's just like, what the fuck, man. And it was like his whole house was like that. Excuse me. Where it looked nice on the outside, but once you open it up to look closer, it was just trashed. And it was like, man, that's kind of telling us about you. They go to her house. Her house is different. It's more decorated. I think it's smaller than his. But everything is kind of neat. And because she is the opposite. It looks junky and cluttered, but everything is very neat in specific places and tidy. But it looks like there's a lot of shit going on when there's really not a lot going on. It's all done right. It just doesn't look good. So they have that. She said, well, hey, if you make it look good on the outside, I make it look good on the inside. If you wash, I'll fold. Because he didn't mind washing, he just didn't like folding. Yeah, that's about it with them. And Pastor Cal comes, and they have not consummated the marriage. But she said, we're doing other things, and we're doing a lot of it, and we're doing it well. And it was like, what are y'all doing? It's like they're not having sex, but they're doing stuff like sex. And they're doing it a lot, and they're doing it very good. And it was like, okay, I don't want to dive into that, because that doesn't make any sense. But she is not happy with their current sexual situation. She wants to get it in. She is sexually frustrated. And he is like, I'm taking it slow and doing all this. She says, yeah, that's the opposite of what I do. She said, they usually knocking boots pretty early in her relationships. And in his, it comes a lot later. He said, I want to make a mental connection with you. I don't want to just have, physical sex. I want to, know you and love you with my mind. Stuff like that. Which is all good. And they asked about, love. And Ryan said, he never told someone he loved them before. He don't think he's ever been in love before. But when it comes to like Clara, he said, he's committed to doing what's right, to taking her feelings into consideration, doing all this stuff that is love. Excuse me. Oh, my light's messed up. But he doesn't consider it love, even though it is love. So, excuse me one second. So they were like, well, that's love. But he's like, well, no. He said, yeah, you're calling. He said, you're doing the actions of someone that loves somebody. You're doing all the stuff, but you're just not calling it love. You're calling it something else. And he said, don't be afraid of the word love. Because the way you feel for her. Because basically when he described how he feels for Clara, he's describing like, I kind of love her. But he doesn't want to say that. He wants to say all. He wants to just say a bunch of other stuff around it. I guess if he just had the fear of the word, but that's silly. And he asked Clara, like, "What about you?" And Clara, like, "I'm all in." She's like, "I'm ready to love. I'm down to love. I'm looking to love. I'm in love. I fall in love at first sight." She said, "I fall in love immediately." And she said she's worried about him because that was a concern she said before was that she's afraid she's gonna like love him and he's not gonna love her back. And that's on his mind and her mind because that's because he the one brought it up. Like that was your fear that you told me day one that you're gonna love me and I'm not gonna love you back. So I like them together, but I don't know about Ryan. I think Clara's doing everything she can, but I think she likes him so much and she's so into him. She's heard enough. She's seen enough. She wants to do this thing, and I think he has too, but he's scared. He's unsure. I think he likes her and he wants to be with her, but something's holding him back. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a fear of intimacy or he's worried. Like, what if I stay with her and she don't like it? I don't think that's the issue at all. I don't get it. I don't get him. He's the thing that's slowing it up. I don't understand why. But they're good together. I think they're going to be great together. If they can figure out what is the roadblock. Moving on to our next couple. It's going to be Haley and Jacob. I don't know what's going on with these two. They start off the episode arguing about episode 6 with Haley going to have drinks with her friends, and then I guess the other people showed up. But she said in the thing like they weren't supposed to be there. It was supposed to be just her and the girls, but some of the guys showed up too. And Jacob said, well, you could have just called and said, hey, plans changed, do you want to come down? And she didn't do that. But Haley is right. You shouldn't blow the fuck up over that. You shouldn't explode over that. Because he said you have a boyfriend back home, you don't really like me, you don't care. Like, he started putting a bunch of his own personal issues and demons on her, which was unfair. He shouldn't have done that shit at all. He called her a liar, said that like she was living in her own reality. It was a bunch of personal demons and shit about him that he just spewed out on Haley, and it was not justified at all. Because it wasn't like he was thinking that her story was false. She was like, well, me and the girl were texting, and we were gonna have a drink, but then like their husbands came, and they were there. He was like, well, you didn't call me. She was like, I really didn't think about it. She was like, it wasn't supposed. I thought they were gonna leave. It wasn't supposed to be this. They slept in separate beds. He did apologize. Well, she said he apologized. He said he did. And he said the next morning, like he was like, I really went off over nothing. Because it wasn't that big a deal. And it wasn't that big a deal at all. And I think he realized how stupid he looked and how silly he looked. And I didn't get that at all. He was just being really insecure. And I don't think it was justified at all. And he shouldn't have spewed his insecurities out on top of her. They go to her house the next day. He's apologized. They're trying to get back together, start over from scratch. And her house is nice. It's beautiful, really. It's very modern. A lot of glassware, a lot of glass frames. It's a nice house, well decorated. And he is teasing her about, his house looks nothing like, it's the opposite of that. Well, she has a very 2000s, 2010 house. He has a very 80s house. And he was like, yeah, a lot of neon, a lot of stuff like that. And she was like, oh my God. And he goes to her closet looking at clothes, and she's like, yeah, those are my mom's clothes. He called her mom a Karen. She dresses like a Karen. And they're just being silly, stupid. They go to his house, and he has 3 dogs. Well, she had 1 dog that was real nice and real friendly. He had 3 at his house. two little dogs and a big fucking dog. And he was not lying about his house. He said his house had a lot of unnecessary neon. He had neon lights in just random fucking places. Unnecessary neon lights. And so 80s. And it's all the dumb shit from the 80s. It's not even any of the good stuff from that. I'm like, oh, it's the 80s. Okay, you're going to have like Ghostbusters. Got to have your Michael Jackson or Thriller stuff. You gotta have, it's all a bunch of dumb, stupid shit. Fucking neon and wood paneling and... Where's the good 80s stuff? Where's the E.T. poster? You know, where's the Goonies, man? The Road Warrior. You got fucking... What is this stupid ass linoleum and goddamn neon lights? You got wood paneling bullshit. Shag carpet. What the fuck? How you get the dumb 80s shit? The fuck, man? And then, his house was atrocious. It was ugly as fuck. It was just full of random cluttered bullshit. I don't know why he's so proud of it. It was just full of random, stupid, dumb 80s shit. Nothing cool. They go back to the shared apartment they're going to have, and the dogs don't get along. One of his dogs, I can't think of what it is, I think it's like a Yorkie, is just completely pissed at this other dog that's come along. And she says that's a problem. She said because the dog comes first. The dog comes before her husband. Because she's like, I don't know this dude. I know my dog. I love my dog. I don't feel that same way about this guy. It's just one of those things, man. Just one of those things. Pastor Cal comes and asks about intimacy. And she's like, you know, she said, I'm not very intimate. She's not very touchy-feely. It's not her thing, you know. She says that's like not her love language at all. It's just not a thing. But for him, it is. And he's like, you know, and I'm going slow. If she wants to go slow, he's like, I'm willing to go slow. But she's not even willing to go slow. She just doesn't want to do it. She doesn't want to, like, he's like, you know, we can hug. You want to just hug once a day or once a week? And he's like, I'm trying to figure out, okay, how can we go slow to build this up? And he was like, she doesn't want to do that. He was like, we hug strangers. Pascal like, yeah, you hugged me when I came in. You can't hug him? Shit. She like, you know. And she said, you know, it's weird having a connection with him because of the accusation stuff he said about her. About she has a boyfriend back home, a secret boyfriend. She's a liar. She's got, what did he say about her? I can't remember what it was. She's high strung and all this stuff, but she was like, I don't know where that came from. And he admits that, you know, that's me. He admits that from him, his experience, his past situation that he's been in made him go that route immediately, and that it wasn't fair or justifiable that, you know, she never put him in that position. He's been in that position before based on what other people have done. So he didn't run from it. He was like, yeah, I did it. I was being a piece of shit. And she asked him what's going to be a problem. Pascal asked what's going to be a problem. She was like, the 80s stuff is going to be a problem. It's like, you know, but she's afraid to confront him over that. And it's like, well, you're going to have to confront him. But she's like, yeah, that's going to be a problem, dude. Like, stop that shit. You know, and he has to accept, he said he's willing to accept her to bring him forward in time, so. And I think he is, but he doesn't want to just completely give it up, which is understandable, and that's his whole identity. So he wants to keep some of it, but he probably does need like a wardrobe update, absolutely. And she needs to decorate his house. His house looks so ugly, so bad. It's nothing. It's none of the nice 80s stuff. I don't even know what else to say about him. I think I like him. I'm on the fence about her, which is odd because I think he's going in harder than she is. I don't think she really wants to be married. And I think he does really want to be married, but he does have issues and problems. And Haley is just, she is trying. I think she's trying to push away, but it seems like she does like him though, because she laughs at him. I think, I'm trying to think, does she laugh with him or laugh at him? And I think she laughs at him a lot, and he recognizes that this is pretty hilarious and stupid, so he laughs along to take the sting off of it, but she is absolutely laughing at him. The way he dresses, the way he talks, the way he decorates. She was just laughing at his shit and laughing at him. And he knew it was silly. He was like, yeah, this is kind of dumb. So he's going along with it. So that's why I think he won't mind her updating some of his stuff. Because even he is aware that, man, this is corny. So I don't know what's up with Haley and Jacob. But they can work. I like them. And Kristen Page is a shit show, and I think they're done. I hope they know in the preview for next week, Chris says he wants Paige and his ex to talk. I have no fucking idea what they're going to talk about. They don't have shit to say. If I was Paige, I'd have been done with this shit. He asked for a divorce 10 days in. Not her. She's like, hey, I'm fucking done with him. And he's put her through so much. And I think he's just going to try to make Paige like a side chick or something like that. And I hope to God she don't go along with it. I really do. What are your thoughts? They're mine. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you feel, how you think. Or if I'm tripping. Or are you just hopeful that they're gone too? It's great to be back. Great to be doing this again. It's real relaxing, real comfortable, and I love it. And I love y'all. I really don't love y'all. I don't know y'all at all. But hey, next time, man. Peace.